Crystal Deal With It focuses on bridging the gap between where you're at now and where you'd like to be. We'll explore wisdom and techniques from a wide variety of domains and industries and apply them to your unique challenges. I love developing frameworks, processes, and storytelling metaphors that enable personal and business growth. Through actionable next steps, we'll build momentum and confidence. My goal is to help you clear roadblocks, do more with what you have, and realize the potential of yourself and your team. So throw your challenges my way, and Crystal deal with it. First, an AI statement that all elements of this episode are products of the author, Chris Kreuter, and made without the use of any AI tools. Welcome to episode 34 of Crystal Deal With It. This is part 2 of our Summer Principles series. This episode can be listened to by itself, but for greater context, refer back to the intro episode number 32. Note that the principles in this series are what work for me. They allow me to thrive and live my values as best as I can. I'm not advocating the adoption of my specific set of principles. Rather, I'm attempting to showcase the power of principles by providing more context on how they can be defined, codified, and embedded into the thoughts and actions of our lives. So let's dig into principle number 2. Train the mind, body, and soul. Where does this principle come from? When I was brainstorming elements of life that were important to me, in order to distill them into principles, there ended up being a bunch that were surrounding personal improvement. I realized that they were all reflections on a common theme, training and improvement. So, keeping the mind sharp, equipped with an ever better array of knowledge, and improving discernment to handle challenging tasks, maintaining physical fitness lets us get more things done, allows us to provide for family and friends, and makes it easier for both mind and soul to focus better with fewer burdens. Aspiring to a deeper spiritual connection to underpin actions with a higher purpose and help maintain humility. So the resulting principle evolved from a desire to remain mindful of the importance of training, but its wording also reflects the need to do so in balance. Why is this principle important? Neglecting training can lead to many negative outcomes. It makes us less prepared to take advantage of opportunities. We risk putting ourselves or loved ones at risk because we're not able to handle critical moments. It increases our reliance on and the susceptibility to the authority of others. It also can create broken internal soundtracks. I can't because... Maintaining balance between mind, body, and soul is also important. I like the analogy of the balance beam. The further you move off that center line, the greater effort that's going to be required for you to regain balance. So by stacking our efforts at one or two extremes, even small changes around you can drastically upset the balance of the whole system. So by aligning yourself across the entire axis of experience, mind, body, and soul, we're stronger against a wider variety of potential impacts. So how does living this principle impact myself and others? Aspiring to maintain a well-balanced lifestyle helps me see value in a wider array of opinions. Following this principle reminds me to maintain a diversity of thought and action. I also find it has an impact on my writing. I reflect a wider span of human experience in my work because I attempt to experience a wider span of life. It makes me better able to show up for others in a manner that's most helpful to them. Some examples. You could be the world's strongest person, but do you have the spiritual depths to help console someone coping with a tragedy? Or the genius with 150 plus IQ who has spent a lifetime training the mind, but ignoring their physical fitness, they may end up with physical ailments that shorten the quality and length of the time they live to realize their intellectual potential. And take the example of the hustle culture social media types who brag about their insane workout regimens, supplements, and all the books they read. They really live for outward appearance rather than with internal conviction, and they often lack a strong moral, ethical, or spiritual structure that helps them maintain balance and humility. So what does living this principle look like in action? There are often phases where overcorrections are needed. This can be practical and due to circumstance. Intense training for a physical goal, such as running a marathon, cramming to pass a licensing exam, or preparing for a wedding. It can be due to neglect. Recognizing that it's been years since you've read a book, lifted a weight, or prayed/meditated to a higher power or ideal. Despite the intention of the principle, it's impossible to achieve a perfect balance. Life's a journey that's forever uneven. Avoid keeping close score to ensure that all three are perfectly equal in importance and efforts spent. Likewise, we shouldn't get down on ourselves for neglecting an aspect. As we grow, there could be a need to redefine our goals in one of the areas. We're allowed to shift what we want to know, our perceptions of our body's capabilities, and our spiritual beliefs, and recognize that others are allowed to do the same. It helps you to respect others' individuality and choices. And there can also be a seasonality to it. Colder and darker winter days provide more time for reading and intellectual pursuits, while long summer warmth tends to see us out and about, being more active with our bodies. And religious high holidays and rites of passage can bring faith and family to the forefront. So I'll close out episode 34 with a quote courtesy of Jose Ortega y Gasset, which reflects why paying close attention to our principles can help us get closer to the person we aspire to be. Tell me to what you pay attention, and I will tell you who you are. And with that, have a great day.
If you feel that Chris dealt with it, I'd appreciate your support of the show by sharing it with someone who might benefit. Ratings on your favorite podcast player are also helpful in growing the audience. Visit chriskreuter.com for free downloadable PDFs with notes and resources from today's episode, sign up for the CDWI mailing list, or to send in your problems or requests for future shows. That's CHRISKREUTER.com, or use the link in the show notes. Thanks for listening to Chris will deal with it.